It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah, and welcome back to another day of our 25 most notable bourbons and American Ryes of 2021. Per usual.
Yep, there we go. Today,
What shall we have, Chad?
we shall be having the Old Fitzgerald Bottled-in-Bond Spring Edition.
Don't mind if we do. Here we are again with the Old Fitzgerald 2021 Spring Edition.
That's right.
We did taste the spring and the fall next to each other, and spring won,
Spring one.
in our opinion.
Yep.
Sorry if you don't agree.
The Spring Edition is an 8-year. It's Bottled-in-Bond as always. Now, as you can see, we have the media sample.
Media sample.
We weren't able to find a bottle for purchase, but they look like this, different color scheme for the spring. This is an old spring, but
I believe this is from last year, and it actually fared very well in our.
I think it was last year.
The 16.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the 16 year. This fared very well in our blind tasting last year. So
This is what the bottle looks like.
this is half the age.
Half the age. Also, half the price. $85 MSRP for the 8-year. This guy went for $160.
Woo!
Usually when you add a year, it adds about $10 as the rule. So if you want to get into this, a bottle shaped like this type of decanter, you can do so if you can find the spring of this year for only $85, and you can still have at least this bottle.
Big disclaimer, Chad, if you can find it. Here we are sitting talking about it, and we don't have it. We're blessed with a media sample.
Yes, we didn't get to go to the distillery enough to find it in the gift shop. That's usually if we get one where we can find it, but just haven't been there that much this year.
No, this is nice. Another 100 proofer, right? We just
Bottled-in-Bond.
just had one.
Yep.
This doesn't have as much of that Heaven Hill signature nose note of that faintly nutty, a little tiny bit, but it's. I would have a much harder time identifying this, I think, in a blind if I was trying to guess a distillery.
I think we just had the Parker's Heritage, which was also a wheat whiskey, not a wheated bourbon, but a wheat whiskey. Now this is a wheated bourbon, but also from Heaven Hill. Here we go, back to back, I believe. I can get my days straight.
Light, sweet.
It reminds me a lot of that Parker's Heritage, but that being 122 proof, this being 100, a lot of the same notes, but sort of quelled down,
Yeah, for sure. I'm having a hard time. Some days you have a tough time on the nose.
Is it a nose day or a no-nose day?
It's a no-nose day.
Okay. It's a no-nose day.
So I think I may need to take a sip and then revisit the nose to give notes. Sometimes that helps me.
I get some earthiness on this one. I get some cereal notes and some light sweetness. I think it's a nose day for me.
Okay.
But to your health.
The presence is lighter, but it's still full flavored, I think, especially towards the finish.
Yeah, I agree.
The finish is a medium.
It's a medium.
Okay,
Mario. Sure, we're in the right color.
I'd like it to be longer, but maybe we need the second sip for that.
Sure. It is earthy on the palate too, as I was kind of getting on the nose. It's earthy, or there's some pretty good barrel notes happening here. Like that about it. I thought it was gonna go dry, then it was like, no, Chad, I'm not gonna do that to you. So that was nice of it. I like that. Second sip.
Now that I go back to the nose, I almost get like an agave syrup type of a note. Not maybe maple. It could be argued.
Okay, I can see that.
Not a strong maple, but light.
Yeah. A little honey tea now on it. So it settles back into the throat.
Yeah, it does have that nice viscosity. If you melt honey, get honey hot and it becomes, liquid honey, it almost feels like that in your mouth, which is lovely.
A little hot toddy action.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, on the second sip, I don't think the finish is any longer, but it's strangely resting on the back sides of my tongue, which for a wheater, I don't normally expect that. That's normally where I expect Ryes to sit, but I think it's got a bit of tannins from the oak.
Yeah.
That are sitting back there.
There is some, I guess we could say, perceived spice. Not that wheaters are absent of spice just because they don't have rye, but yeah, there's some.
I think it's coming from the oak.
Clove or smoky spice sort of in there, which is really nice.
It lingers.
It does linger. liking this more than I realized. It's good. This is good. You know what else I like more than I realized?
What?
Whiskyambitions.com. Actually, I knew I
was going to say.
That's where you can get our glassware, like Glencairns and Copitas and rocks glasses and more. But also our hoodies, like this zip hoodie. Also pullover hoodies, 2-color hoodies, printed on the back hoodies. Yes, everything for the cold weather, sweatshirts, but also hats, challenge coins, pins, candles, and more, always coming soon. That's whiskyambitions.com.
You can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join us, support us. If you like what you see here, you can get in for as little as $1 a month, and you'll also get access to our It's Bourbon Night barrel picks, potentially the chance to participate in a barrel pick, and after the episode, exclusive content.
Yeah. So why is this one on the most notable list? Well, it's always one that's kind of earmarked to look at, you know, the old Fitzgerald, the 2 releases of the year from Heaven Hill, along with the Parker's Heritage and so forth. But well,
I will say, just to kind of jump off of the point that you just said, because I feel like some people might be thinking, oh, so you just put it in every year, no matter what. So along that line of thinking, we, up until this year, have always put a Booker's in, and we've always earmarked the Bookers as something to look at. This is the first year that we've done this that a Booker's did not make it in.
It's true. Broke my heart a little bit.
It hurt, but it just wasn't the year for Bookers.
I had to face facts.
Yeah, you gotta face the facts, and the price has gone up, and so, you know, it's gotta make a case for itself, and so that being said, this didn't make it in only because it's something that we put in every year. It just happens to be really good quality that we've known to revisit and consider year after year.
That's right. If it didn't cut the mustard or whatever the actual saying is.
I think you just said mustard twice.
No, I said mustard. I don't know. I've looked it up, and some places say it's morphed to where mustard is acceptable now.
But it was muster.
I don't know.
I think. Anyways.
If it didn't pass the bill, then it wouldn't have made it on here. But we tried it. We like this one the best. We put this one in of the 2, and it's those great.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, people might say, ugh, it's an 8-year. That's like the lowest ages they put out so far. It's been an 8-year.
Ask Jimmy Russell how he feels about 8 years.
Yeah, well, different distillery, but
I know, but still.
Great master distiller.
Tell him he's wrong.
I shan't do that.
Good luck.
The 8, and as we said, if you can find it easier on the wallet to get into an Old Fitzgerald. You know, we love that 16, but for different reasons. You know, that one's got a lot of leather, oak, some smoke in there. It was just so rich and different reasons. This
it's more mellow. But
is
the mouthfeel is still like fully there, and I like. The more I sit with this, the more the flavors present themselves, and it's like really yummy.
Yeah.
And enjoyable, but it's mellow too. So I kind of like that balance. And sometimes, you know, you don't want something that's gonna burn your esophagus.
Right.
And I feel like this is the perfect pour for that type of a day when I want something a little lower proof, but that still gives me that mouthfeel and that flavor.
Yes, absolutely.
And as Chad would say, it comes in a pretty bottle.
It does come in a pretty bottle. That it does. That it does. So that's why it has made it here.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well, that's where we'll leave it. Only a few episodes left. I'm starting to get sad about it. But hey, if you haven't subscribed to us already, you want to make sure you see the rest of these episodes, right? You can click right up here to do so. Suggestions of other videos down here. See you over there in one of those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay. See you guys tomorrow. Until then, drink more bourbon.